All right. Are we good? I think we are. All right, cool. Make sure here. Yep. Looks like we are live. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much for being here. Okay. We got a couple of things to click here and we'll get going. All right. Are we set? I think we are. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. I know you're probably going to send me a message, Will, you're late. It's all good. You know, there's a lot of things that go into play before I go live here. It's just not a simple click of a button. Really not, but it is what it is. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Will Johnson. For those of you that don't know, my website is uniteamericafirst.com. And we are going to talk about, is it safe for us to talk about free speech? Is it safe for us to talk about the southern border? And the reason why I'm asking is because, you know, all of the information that we're finding out about the feds going to the tech companies and getting the tech companies to suppress your voice, our voices. Now, we've all had this suspicion, right? We've all had this suspicion that, you know, that they were doing something. But I'm telling you, no one knew. Well, someone knew. Of course, someone knew. But we didn't have a clue that it was this bad, right? We knew it was bad. But how many of you knew that the FBI paid Twitter to censor the American people? How many people knew that? I didn't know that. Well, obviously you know more than I did. But they paid them $3.4 million. $3.4 million the FBI paid Twitter to censor your voice, our voices. So when they say that the private companies can do whatever they want because the Constitution says it's the government that can't hinder your First Amendment rights, but tech companies can because they're privately owned businesses. I don't want to hear that no more because it was FBI agents working in Twitter. And they say they're working in the other tech companies as well. What? What in the world is going on? Now, this was supposed to never happen. And, you know, for me, when I look at this, the most interesting thing is that the left, they're not even out there in the uproar about this. Did they know about it? Were they all in on it? As long as you can suppress conservative Christians and keep the truth out, I think the Democrats are completely happy about it. They have no issues, no qualms. No, allow it to happen. It's a private company. Let them do whatever it is they want to do. But soon as Elon Musk remove communist journalists, so-called journalists, from Twitter because they were doxing people, all of a sudden, oh my goodness, he's hindering free speech. He's going against what he's talking about. Oh my goodness, the cries. See, if it was the other way around and the FBI was being controlled by the RNC, like they are by the DNC, and they were suspending Democrats left and right, hindering their reach, the federal government doing this, oh my goodness, you know what? There will probably be riots in the street right now. You know this, right? Or at least the left, they'd probably be at Twitter trying to burn a building down if they found out this was happening. Because it was, you know what? It was so bad. I mean, it's so bad. And it's still happening, of course. I mean, it's still happening. They're doubling down. They don't care. Because they're like, we don't care. Now you know what we've been doing. We're going to continue doing it. And we don't care if you like it or not. Because we have the FBI on our side. And because the FBI is on our side, we can do whatever we want to you. Because the FBI is paying us to do it to you. So who's going to come after us? Nobody. And who's going to go arrest the people in the FBI that did this? Probably nobody. Why? Because it's the FBI. Do you know, if you lied to the FBI, do you know what would happen to you? Do you know? If you lied to the FBI, so technically the FBI went to the tech companies and they lied to them, Or did they actually lie to the tech companies? Or did they tell the tech companies, hey, this is what we want to do? It's not really true, but we want to do this to help out the Biden crime family. The tech companies, they probably, if they knew the truth, they'd be like, oh, yes, this is perfectly fine. We're happy to do this. We're happy to do this. Or they didn't know. And the FBI lied to the tech companies saying this is
Russia
by the Hunter Biden laptop.
Russia.
And again, Russia never had the laptop. So how is it Russian propaganda if Russia never had the laptop? And can you imagine if Russia ever did have the laptop? Oh, my goodness. It would just prove how compromised Joe Biden is. But they never had the laptop. But the FBI went to the tech company saying that it was Russian propaganda, so they lied to them. And I'm just wondering, did the tech companies know that it was not true? How much? Because the FBI, apparently, FBI agents were working inside of the tech companies. And to my understanding, they're still there. They're still there. They are still there. It's still happening. Why? Because they don't care. See, they are the law, the FBI, they are the law. So they feel that they are above the law. See, they can break the law. They can do criminal activity. And it's perfectly fine because they're above the law. They can do all of this stuff. See, we just have to sit back and take it, right? That's all we can do. All we can do is sit back and take them doing this criminal activity to us. We can scream about it. We can complain, go to work, eat, sleep, complain, go to work, eat, sleep, complain, go to work, eat, sleep. That's all we can do, right? We can complain all about it all day because unless Democrats and Republicans come together and say, look, the FBI going to the tech companies, paying them $3.4 million to censor the American people is completely wrong. It's going to take both the Democrats and the Republicans to come together and say, look, this can't be happening. That's a totalitarian. That's exactly who they are. That's exactly what they've been doing. I've been saying this all along. And they're still doing it. That's the amazing part. They're still doing it. And to what extent now? To what extent? The cat's out the bag. So I guess they're just saying, well, we don't care that you know now. We're just going to increase it now that you know. And there's nothing you can do about it. It's a complete violation of the U.S. Constitution. And y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Because I don't know. I'm not an FBI agent. I never even thought. I thought about, it'd be cool when I was younger to join the FBI because everyone was like, oh, man, the FBI would be pretty cool. Yeah, not so much any longer. But you correct me if I'm wrong. When an FBI agent, I'm suspecting here, the FBI agent, when they join the Bureau, do they take an oath? Is there? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Do they take an oath to defend and protect the U.S. Constitution against foreign and domestic enemies? It's a valid question. I don't know, because I would assume that they did. But apparently that's not the case because that's not what they're doing. They're doing just the opposite. And let me drop this bombshell on you right now. And I want everybody to hit the share button right now. I want to drop something on you because I haven't heard anybody else talk about this theory. And it is a theory. No conspiracy about it at all. It's just an opinion. This is an opinion piece that I'm about to give. And a lot of people, it's going to open up a lot of people's eyes. Because I see the writing on the wall. So I'm going to ask you right now to hit the share button like you never hit it before. Help me get past the algorithms. Help me get past the algorithms. Now listen to this. Are you ready? Since the FBI has been caught red-handed with all of these Twitter docs coming out, listen to me carefully. Listen. They got caught. Elon Musk is releasing these documents little by little on Twitter so people will go on Twitter to read these documents. Very smart on his part, if you ask me. Just don't do a dump because then they'll just stop talking about it. He's releasing these docs on Twitter, and it's exposing the FBI. That's how we know that the FBI paid Twitter $3.4 million to hinder the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution against the American people. Here's the bombshell. When do you think? Because I would consider this a criminal investigation now. because they're showing all this information because someone actually broke the law by doing $3.4 million to Twitter when they're not supposed to do that. Only Congress can do that. So I can see this happening. The FBI said, okay, we need to do an investigation. We need to shut down Twitter. We need to go into Twitter. We need to raid Twitter. I'm just waiting for them to do it. This is the bombshell right here. Raiding Twitter. Has anybody else thought about this? How come the FBI has not raided Twitter as of yet? Because this is criminal activity that is going on. Elon Musk is exposing what the FBI has been doing, which is straight up criminal activity. So why wouldn't the top level people in the FBI go say, you know what? Oh, this is terrible. This is terrible. We need to do an investigation. Raid Twitter to find out what else they have, shut it all down so we can do an investigation. So we can find out exactly what's going on. Has anyone else thought about this? I can't be the only one to think about this. I see the writing on the wall. I'm just waiting for them to do it. Has anyone else said this about Twitter getting raided by the FBI because of this criminal activity that they're exposing that's taking place? This is huge. This is the biggest scandal ever. One of the biggest scandals ever. Well, in my lifetime, one of the biggest scandals ever. And you mean the FBI is going to sit on the sidelines and watch it all unfold on Twitter? Are you kidding me? After all of the criminal activity they've done, you mean to tell me that they're not going to raid Twitter? Really? They're not going to go in there and stop them from sharing this information that's exposing Twitter, exposing the FBI? Really? Really? What's going on? What is Twitter doing? See, now Twitter, I guess the FBI is trying to ignore it, but you know what? Fox News, they're reporting on it. Most of the media is reporting on it, except for the communist media on the left. They're acting like, oh my goodness, President Trump tax returns are the biggest story right now. President Trump's tax returns, they're going to release them. They're going to release them. So they're more concerned about what's in President Trump's tax returns than they are, wait for it, the federal government violating the First Amendment rights via the proxy of the tech companies. They're more concerned about President Trump's tax returns. What in the world? What? It's a deflection. They know very well that if it was the tables were turned and the Republican Party had control of the FBI and the FBI was the strong arm of the Republican Party doing the exact same thing, oh my goodness, the Communist News Network, MSSTD, ABC, CBS, all of them right now would be screaming about, oh my goodness, this is overreach. This is total totalitarian. This is completely, wrong. Criminal charges should be brought up, but none of them say anything. They're like completely silent about all of it. And it's like, oh my goodness. Let's talk about President Trump's tax returns because that's what we want people to focus on. Not that the government violate the First Amendment. Not that the tech companies work with the federal government to censor the American people's voice on the virtual public square. The virtual public square. Y'all understand what that means, right? Virtual, right? We have the physical public square. You can go out onto the street, hold up a sign and say Biden sucks. Or you can go on the virtual public square and put a post out there look like a meme and says Biden sucks. That's what the virtual public square is. But see, they've taken it upon themselves to police us like a totalitarian state. And the FBI are paying them. So my question, if the FBI was paying Twitter, would I be wrong to think that they were paying the other tech companies? What do you think? Leave me a comment. What do you think? Do you think they possibly paid the other tech companies? Wow. This is the United States government we're talking about. The United States government that's supposed to be the model example to the world. We're really supposed to be. At least I thought so, especially when I was growing up. I thought, man, United States of America, we're in America. And I remember when I used to live overseas in Germany and people used to talk about America, especially the Germans, when they would talk about America, they say, I want to go there to America. Even today, people, look, have y'all not seen the southern border? Look, if America is so racist and so bad, then why are these people coming here that are not white? I'm just asking the question. Why are they coming here? Did someone not tell them the memo that, hey, America's racist and it's so bad? Oh my goodness, look at all these people going across the country doing so terrible things. There's no video footage of it, but they keep saying it. Make it make sense. It doesn't make any sense. All of this corruption. So my question to everyone that's watching is, who's gonna be held accountable for it? I mean, we're talking about the top law in the country that committed some crimes. The top law in the country. So if it's the top, who's above the top law in the country? So that means they get a free pass to commit these crimes. At least that's what I'm hearing. Listen to this report here on Fox News about all of this.
Miranda, just one last question here. Republicans are going to take over the House, obviously, in the new year. We've seen these investigations in Congress, and sometimes a lot of times they just go nowhere. Where do you expect this story to go in the new year?
Look, I think that this time the Republicans have an enormous trove of information. The Twitter files has given them a lot, so have the FBI whistleblowers, Tony Bobulinski, the laptop. There's a wealth of information, especially from the Treasury Department, showing the money trail of money coming from China, Russia, Ukraine, into Biden family coffers. They've said that they're actually investigating Joe Biden because this is about his family's influence operation, using him as a person that greases the wheels and meets the potential business partners. I think that they have so much information to go on, and let's hope Elon Musk is not leaned on by Wall Street, as seems to be happening right now, today as we speak, to intimidate him into not releasing any more information. I think there's a lot more in the Twitter files to come.
A lot more in the Twitter files to come. So you hear this. They're trying to lean on him on Wall Street. You're trying to lean on him on the other various ways. They're so angry with Elon Musk because he's releasing the information that they did, what the FBI has done. That's all he's doing. Instead of them trying to shut him down, they should be like, share more, share more. Allow us to know what was going on, the corruption. You know what? There may not be, explosives going on and bullets flying around at each other. And I don't want any of that. And God forbid any of that actually starts to come to, fruition. I don't want it. I don't want it. I really don't. But if you really think about it, this spiritual battle that we're in, it's not just in the spiritual world. It's rolled over into our physical realm. It really has. And the way you can tell about this spiritual battle that we're in is because you have these evil people that do this corruption, and they have it in their mind that they have to do this evil corruption stuff for their agenda because they believe that their agenda is the right thing, even though it's 100% corrupt. 100% corrupt. Now, you heard her talk about, they're talking about Hunter Biden. They want to do investigations on Hunter Biden. And you know what? The most interesting thing about this, they're talking about the Hunter Biden, right? The Republicans talking about Hunter Biden, and they want to be able to do open investigations, and they need to find out why did Joe Biden on day one, it was like the first week in office, he did an executive order to where they cannot look at Hunter Biden's SARS reports. He has over 150 SARS reports. You get just one, they'll shut down all of your bank accounts. He had over 150 SARS reports. 150. Biden signed an executive order to prevent anyone from looking into Hunter Biden's SARS reports. There needs to be an investigation. The corruption is through and through. I mean, there needs to be an investigation. The whole idea that he did that, to me, it sounds like an impeachable offense because he actually is hiding data. Now, like I said, they're trying to cover up, and they don't want people to know what what actually took place with the FBI and Twitter. They don't want people to know. Let me share something else with you. Where is it at? There's something else I want to share with you. Okay. Here we go. I want to share this one with you. And you notice when you hear them all talking about the big tech companies, they always mention Twitter, and they seldomly mention Facebook. And the only reason why they mention Facebook is because of Mark Zuckerberg. You know, Mark Zuckerberg, he said that the FBI came to Facebook. He said that on Joe Rogan. It's like he was compelled to tell the truth for some reason. I don't know. I don't know. But they never really talk about Google, YouTube. Right. But we all know that the big tech companies was meeting with the Biden regime, the White House, once a week. That's extremely a lot. Once a week. And to my understanding, they were trying to figure out how they can censor the American people in a legal way. It was already illegal when they were doing it. The federal government was pushing this. Listen to some of this.
Seventh installment of the Twitter files now revealing how the FBI worked to suppress the Hunter Biden laptop story. Today's New York Post cover calling the tech giant a, quote, bird in the hand. Miranda Devine is a columnist for the Post, Fox News contributor. Miranda, good morning to you, and thank you for your time. Just want to remind folks, the FBI had the laptop for about a year. They knew that it was real. And you say the FBI was grooming Twitter employees to recognize your laptop story.
Okay, now there's that word. There's that G word, right? They can use it in so many different ways. But yes, they were coaching. They were coaching them. Now listen to this. And see, when I was listening to these things, this is where I got the whole bombshell idea of wondering when is the FBI going to raid Twitter. I mean, because there's criminal activity going on, and Elon Musk is putting the criminal activity on Twitter. I'm telling y'all. Did anyone else think about that? The FBI raiding Twitter to shut all this down, to shut it down until they can figure out what is going on? Has anyone else thought about this, or am I the only one thinking about this? Leave me a comment. I want to see what you say. Do you think it's possible that the FBI is thinking about raiding Twitter? Yes or no? Maybe I should do a poll. Maybe I'll do a poll.
How so?
That's right, Bill and Dana. It was pretty clear that there was really a psychological operation being conducted against Twitter executives by the FBI, so that when our story came up in October of 2020, that they would recognise it immediately as a Russian hack and leak operation, because they'd been warned for weeks by FBI exactly what to look for. In fact, to look for this operation in October, and that it would involve Hunter Biden. And remember that the FBI was paying Twitter $3.4 million they gave them to help censor Americans, and particularly our story 3 weeks before the election.
Congressman Ted Lieu tweeted this. He said, I read this breathless Twitter file supplemental from Matt Taibbi, so you don't have to. And here's the summary. Twitter disagreed with the FBI. You're welcome. Well, Matt Taibbi responded and said, it is very odd that people, meaning Ted Lieu, think the FBI-DHS relationship with Twitter and other platforms is a partisan story. It's taken place and grown under both Republican and Democratic administration. This concerns everyone. Do you agree?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Ted Lieu obviously has a vested interest there. And the fact is that every American should be very concerned about the fact that the premier law enforcement agency, the FBI, has been doing this sort of subterranean influence operation on the social media giants in order to tilt the 2020 election in favour of one candidate, in order to suppress an accurate story by the New York Post. Now, the FBI had been spying on Rudy Giuliani throughout 2020, so they would have had access to the email that came through from the computer repair shop owner, John Paul MacIsaac, to Rudy Giuliani, expressing his concerns about the laptop, material on it pertaining particularly to Ukraine, and millions of dollars paid to Hunter Biden, which he was concerned would have compromised candidate Joe Biden. So the FBI had access to that. They had access to messages between me and Rudy Giuliani in October, which would have alerted them to the fact that the New York Post was about to publish. And they lied to Twitter and told them that this was going to be a Russian hacking operation. And that was why Twitter, on the morning that we published, immediately censored us using their hacked materials policy.
So they were paying attention to Rudy Giuliani. They hacked his information. They hacked his account. And they saw that Rudy Giuliani was talking to her about it, and then they released it on the Washington Post. And then that same day, Twitter engaged because they knew it was coming. The FBI is in Twitter. They're working in Twitter. Come on. Aren't we supposed to be better than this? Isn't the United States of America supposed to be better than this? What happened? When did it happen? I mean, we kind of know when it happened. We kind of know. It's been a thing that's been going on for years, even before Bush Sr., right? This has been going on. It's just so bad now. And they felt so comfortable doing the corruption. Can y'all imagine if Elon Musk never, ever purchased Twitter? You know what? This is why the FBI, the federal government, the Biden regime, the liberal media, with all the corruption that they were doing, they never in a million years thought that someone like Elon Musk would come along and buy Twitter and expose all of this. They never thought it in a million years. That's why they have been doing it for years. I mean, for years they've been doing this. And they said that they never dawned on them that any of this information would come to light. It would see the light of day. It never dawned on them. They thought that all this information, they thought they were safe doing this corruption. They thought they were safe doing it. No need to worry about it because we get to do this corruption and no one's going to stop us. No one's going to stop us from doing this corruption. All right, let me play this one. Because you know what? This goes right along with it. This one is with TikTok. Now, I've had TikTok on my phone maybe a year ago, but I removed it. And the reason why I removed it, because it was a rabbit hole. Once you start one thing on it, it takes you down a rabbit hole. And the next thing you know, 2 hours have gone by in your life and you can't get them back. I mean, it's just too much, right? So I uninstalled it. But now it should not exist on any government official device at all. If you're a private citizen and you want to take the chance and allow China to have your data, then that's entirely up to you. It should be a choice. Let us know that China's gathering our data. They're gathering your bank information if you use your phone. They're gathering all your passwords to all your email accounts. Whatever it is that you're doing on your phone and you have TikTok on it, China has access to that data. They have it. They have it. Your face, every time you unlock your phone, if you're using face recognition or if you're using biometrics, however you're doing, whatever it is you're doing on your phone, TikTok is gathering all of that data. And to my understanding, if you have TikTok on your mobile device and you're on a network, TikTok has access into the network through your mobile device if it's on the Wi-Fi. People are not really paying attention how bad this is. See, I've been in IT. I did IT. And I used to be in IT for over 20 plus years. It's bad. It's bad. Listen to this. In every state, actually, the United States of America, they should have taken a model what President Trump did. President Trump did an executive order to remove TikTok. And Joe Biden changed it. Why? Because he's Beijing Biden.
Big move by you in your state when it comes to signing an executive order now banning TikTok. One of 17 states now currently taking action against the Chinese app. Why did you make this decision, Governor?
Well, let's just be clear. It's TikTok and WeChat. They are a threat to national security. They're a threat to our intelligence apparatus. They're a threat to the confidential information of all Virginians and all Americans. And so we have banned it from all state devices and state networks. I would ask all governors to follow the lead here. I would ask for Congress to get moving. I don't, again, understand why we keep playing footsie with this. It's time to act.
You know what? I don't understand it either.
China.
Beijing Biden, China Joe. China's controlling these people, obviously. I mean, there has to be something there for them to do this. There has to be something. Why else would they allow this when it's already been proven that TikTok is gathering information, gathering data on America for China? Please help me understand. Okay, so I did do a poll. About if you think that the FBI might raid Mar-a-Lago. Now, I'm not saying that, and that's why I said might, right? I said might. I want Elon Musk to continue to release this information, release the data on Twitter. I don't want him to put it on the WikiLeaks. I don't want him to put it, on a big board, just put the whole dump. I don't want that to happen. I like the way Elon Musk is doing it. And the reason why I like the way Elon Musk is doing it, because it's forcing people to go to Twitter. All of these people talking about, I'm leaving, I'm getting off of Twitter. They go back to see the dumps. They're going back to look at the Twitter files. They're going back to look at them so they can try to debunk them. But it's their stuff. And they say, well, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I didn't say that. But it's them saying it, right? And by Elon Musk gradually putting them out there, we're gradually finding out more, and it's not dying. It's not just going away. It is very smart the way Elon Musk is doing it, in my opinion. Let me change it up. Oh, let me tell you what the polls say, what they say so far. And I'm going to leave them up there a little bit longer. As of right now, on Facebook, I can't do the poll on other locations, but on Facebook, it says, I did do it on Facebook and YouTube. But on Facebook, it says 76% says yes, they think that the FBI might raid Twitter. Right? It's just an opinion there. And it says 23% says no. Okay, that's on Facebook. And interesting, it's almost the same on YouTube. YouTube is 67% says yes, they think that they might raid them, and 33% says no. You get it? See? Have a choice. Some people are like, oh, they're not going to do it. No. The corrupt organization, they're not going to do that because that would just expose them too much, right? Not unless they go say, well, you know what? This is now an open investigation. We have to figure out what's going on. I don't know. We'll see. But I don't know if anyone else is asking that question. I'm just really kind of surprised that they haven't done it as of yet. Maybe they still have people on the inside of Twitter. Y'all heard about that, right? Maybe they still have people on the inside of Twitter. Let me share something else with you that has just been really kind of bring everything to the forefront of the world that we live in. We see the corruption. We see the lawlessness is happening. We see the world order coming into play because that's part of the reason why we don't have closed borders. And you know what? Karine Jean-Pierre, her and the Biden regime, they're now saying that anyone who says that the border is open is putting out misinformation. So my question to that is that should we believe our lying eyes, what we see happening, or should we believe them? Right? I mean, come on. I just, I look at this stuff and I'm like, did she actually say that? Anyone who says that the border is open is putting out misinformation. So don't pay attention to you seeing thousands of people just walking across. Or maybe they're saying that the border's not opening because they're putting people on buses, single file line, and they're doing it one at a time, and they're just walking across. That's not an open border, right? I guess they say an open border means that we wouldn't have any walls, we wouldn't have any fences. Maybe that's what they're referring to, an open border, because we have up a piece of wall somewhere. So it's not an open border. You have to get rid of all the walls, and then you can say it's an open border, even though people are just walking across. It's insane. My point is now we are living in the end times, and some people still don't think so, and that's fine. That's fine. I believe that we're living in end times based on everything that is going on. I mean, just all of it piling up. And I'm not talking about it's going to end tomorrow. It's going to end next week. It's going to end next year. I'm not saying that. The end times has been going on for a long time. But we've never been to the point to where it's like this, where we have Israel have the heifers, the red heifers. And there's more information on my website if you're interested about it. UniteAmericaFirst.com/cow. There's information about the red heifers. In 2,000 years, they never had these red heifers. Never had them in 2,000 years. Now they have 5 of them, right? And according to the Bible, they're going to start up the sacrifices of these heifers, killing them so they can purify themselves with the ashes of these heifers. 2,000 years they never had it, and it's happening now. We have wars and rumors of wars. We have famine and pestilence. We have earthquakes happening in diverse places. All of this is unfolding just like the Bible said in these days. It said the generation that sees Israel become a nation shall not pass. Israel has been a nation since 1940 something, right? 1947, I believe. All this time. Now you have, how many of you are Catholic? I'm not Catholic. I have family members that are Catholic. I love my family members. And we have discussions about it. And, we'll go back and forth a little bit. But I never curse at them. I never get angry with them. I just ask questions because I'm not Catholic, so I don't know. But you now have the Pope telling somebody who is pro-life that they can no longer be in the Catholic Church. So my question is why would they do that? And how many of y'all are Catholic and okay with this? I really like to know the answer to that. Listen to this report here with Laura Ingraham that she was having with the priest that was, that the Pope has excommunicated. And the Pope didn't even tell him to his face. Didn't even send an email. Didn't send him a text message, which is all lame, weak. He could at least called the man. But he found out through a third party. Listen to this.
A well-known priest who's also served as the national co-chair of Pro-Life Voices for Trump has been kicked out of the priesthood by Pope Francis. The Vatican said the decision to remove Frank Pavone was due to his blasphemous social media posts, which Pavone says is regarding a 2020 Twitter post in which he referred to supporters of this GD loser Biden and his morally corrupt, America-hating, God-hating Democrat Party. Now, the shocking move on the part of the Pope is made all the more remarkable due to the allegations of sexual and financial deviancy from top Vatican officials who remain at the Vatican totally unpunished. Pavone remains defiant, however, still calling himself father and continuing to celebrate Mass since the Vatican's excommunication or communication about this. Joining me now, Father Frank Pavone, National Director of Priests for Life. Father Pavone, it's good to see you tonight. I know it's a very difficult time for you. You said you learned this from a news agency. Have you been formally notified by the Vatican?
Okay, let me stop it real quick. Y'all remember this guy, right? This gentleman here, right? Y'all remember him? I mean, he was strong out there. He was fighting for life, right? I mean, when did the Catholic Church go to the opposite of being pro-life? I remember when I was maybe about 15 years ago, I had a conversation with an older man that was Catholic all his life. And I was having a conversation with him is that, the Catholic Church, no matter what, actually it was about 20 years ago, maybe a little bit more. And he was saying that the Catholic Church, no matter what, is pro-life. No matter what, there's no exceptions. It's just pro-life. No matter the situation, it's pro-life. But apparently at some point that has changed. Maybe you can let me know what changed. Is the Catholic Church still the same Catholic Church?
That's right. Laura, this is actually the culmination of 21 years of abuse by church authorities to me and to my ministry, despite the fact that we help the Vatican. We help to run some of the operations out of the Pope's mission to the United Nations. We help the Secretariat of State with international pro-life issues. We run the largest ministry for healing after abortion, for which Pope Francis has personally encouraged me to keep going on it. We do all kinds of other pro-life work with which many of our viewers are familiar. Why are they doing this? A lot of it obviously is connected with the cancel culture that comes against supporters of President Trump and critics of the Democrat Party, and we're only going to get louder about that. We're not going to be silenced. This is an effort, this is not just an effort to silence me, but to so many of us. People are losing their jobs, as you know, because they stand for their conservative values. They stand up for their conscience, and so they're trying to do the same within the church.
Let me stop it. Because I've said that so many times, that when they find out that you love America, that you're that you support President Trump and that you are a believer in God, these leftists, they find out where you live by doxing you. They find out where you work by doxing you. And they go and attack those locations to get you fired, right, from your job. We've seen it happen countless times. As soon as they find out that you supported Trump, love America, they find out where you work to get you fired from your job. And it's the same thing here. It's always the left, again, showing up to be violent. They go to the extreme. They go and try to hurt you financially. They still do it. They try to hurt you financially, to try to shut you up because you're not playing the game that they want you to play. Believe the lies and don't even question the lies that they're saying. And again, they're doing this to him too. But in this case, the Pope is in on it. What?
Priests like me. It's not going to work. The social media post is just an excuse. They've given me 21 years of excuses. It's always shifting sands. Yeah. It's always changing goalposts, as you can well appreciate.
Let me ask one question, Father Pavone. I know your work, and you've done such amazing work over the years. But were you asked at one point to become a parish priest and you declined? Did that actually occur?
Oh, absolutely. That's how this started. The reason I say 21 years is that in 2001, Cardinal Egan, after I had led Priests for Life for 8 years and also served at the Vatican for 2 of those years in the pro-life office under John Paul II, he said, I want you to go do parish work. Well, there was an uproar from the people. There wasn't only an objection from me. His office got inundated, and Priests for Life at that time was only a fraction of the size that we are now. And people said, why can't a priest devote himself full-time to defending the unborn and ending abortion? I'm convinced that's part of my vocation. My vocation is to be a priest and to be a full-time pro-life leader, and I don't intend to walk away.
But as a priest, but as a priest, Father Pavone, you have to go where the church tells you to go, correct? I mean, I know a lot of priests who didn't want to change parishes, but they were told you have to go to, an inner city parish. But we don't want to get into all the minutiae because it's confusing. I got to ask you one other question, though, because you say you want to appeal this, but they say there is no appeal process for what just happened. So what do you do?
If the Pope...
Now, listen to this, because he's going to talk about the Pope with this appeal process. You know what? It's disgusting to me. Here it is. He's fighting for life. And he has to try to do an appeal to the Pope so he can go be part of the Catholic Church still. I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
If the Pope signs off on something, what they mean is there's nobody in the church above the Pope. You
hear this? And see, I kind of have a little problem with that. You hear this? He said there's no one in the church above the Pope, right? I guess he's just talking about just the church, right? Because we all know that God is above all things. And God created life, and God is pro-life because he created life, right? So I'm really confused by all of this. I really am.
What they mean is there's nobody in the church above the Pope. We all understand that. But that doesn't mean there's no way to change this. The Pope himself can reverse it. The next Pope can reverse it. And I'm appealing to the people of God to continue working with us and show the support for this work of saving lives and healing hearts. If the Pope closes the door on me, Laura, I'm going to be right there on the other side of that door waiting for it to open again. I'm not going to a different church. I'm a loyal Catholic. I'm a loyal priest. And this is not going to last because this is against all of us. And it's a cancel culture in the church. It's got to be exposed and it's got to be resisted.
No,
it is a cancel culture. It is not just in the church. It's in the workplace. It's in the schools. I mean, even teachers lost their jobs when they found out that they were Trump supporters. I mean, it went all across the country. Every aspect you can think of. As soon as they found out that you supported Trump, love America, love God, fire that person, hurt them financially, whatever you can do to them. If not even physically, right? They did it constantly. All right, so now we're at this point here. And I want to have some stuff to share with you because they're going after President Trump. They say they're going to release President Trump's tax returns. Now, I was going to play it here on these other platforms, but they talk about some stuff that happened in a particular month in the year 2021, in the beginning of the year, on a certain day, after 5 days. So if you want to know what I'm talking about and you want to see, I think you already know. You're intelligent, right? You're smart. You get it. But if you want to see what I have to share with you, go here. You go there. Go to rumble.com/C/Will Johnson. Or if you want to, if you want to go a simpler way, or I guess both of them are simple. Or you can go to my website, uniteamericafirst.com, and click on connect, or just go to www.uaf.media. And just scroll down a little bit and you'll see the Rumble. You click on it and it take you automatically to this. Now, what I'm getting ready to show you on the other one is some of the stuff, what they're talking about with President Trump. And again, they're ignoring what's actually happening with the federal government, and they're concentrating on Trump's tax returns. Join me on Rumble if you want to see what I'm talking about. And it's these leftists. I mean, they're telling you what they want, and I'm going to show it to you. But you're going to have to join me on Rumble to see it. You're going to have to join me over there to see it. All right? So I'm going to give it a little time so people can see that on the screen. All right? I'll see you over there. And for everybody that's on Facebook and YouTube, thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate you. And God bless you if you were not afraid to hit the share button. I know some people get scared of hitting the share button. I get it. I get it. Thank you so much for being there. And thank you so much for the stars if you gave me any. I can't see them in this way I'm here.